You better listen to it, and no matter what happens, we've all got to keep on. Everybody has a dream they believe in. That's why I keep on giving, tending to my garden of dreams. Yeah, no matter what happens, go inside and ask yourself what you're here. Yeah, everybody has a dream that they believe in. I keep giving, I got living. I found my soul in a garden of dreams. Sing.
Wow. Good morning.
That's right.
Yeah, top that, right. Wow.
Yes. Our house is pumping.
Yes, it is. One of the things we have often affirmed and we know is the truth is we have world-class music.
Amen. We do.
Thank you, brother. Magnificent, magnificent. Well, thank you, everybody, and that's been part of the dream, hasn't it? Part of our dream for this ministry, and we manifest that, and that's what really our lessons are about in this series. We are going to watch a wonderful little video about an amazing, wonderful little book that looks like a children's book, but I assure you that it is not. It is a book for all of us. So I'm going to take a moment, step over here, and start our video.
Dream, A Tale of Wonder, Wisdom, and Wishes by Susan V. Bozak. Once long ago, when all the stars were born, I was a baby. My favorite color was yellow, the color of the sun that peeked in my window in the morning. When you're a baby, you're cuddled and comforted in your own cozy little world. You smile and gurgle and fuss and cry and get...
Sorry, folks, got to do a refresh.
Dream, A Tale of Wonder, Wisdom, and Wishes by Susan V. Bozak. Once long ago, when all the stars were born, I was a baby. My favorite color was yellow, the color of the sun that peeked in my window in the morning. When you're a baby, you're cuddled and comforted in your own cozy little world. You smile and gurgle and fuss and cry and get fed and need changing and sleep and dream. When my legs began to take me places, my favorite colors were bright, like rip-roaring red. There's a whole world to explore, watching bubbles burst in your bath, tasting honey on toast, smelling every single flower in the garden, listening to laughter and thunder, touching your mother's face on your very own toes. As I got bigger, my favorite colors were those of a rainbow, like the violet arc, across the sky so real I could almost reach up and touch it. There's a whole world to imagine. Castles in your backyard, pumpkins transformed into gilded carriages, fairy friends who play with you all day, monsters that crouch in dark corners at night, wishes you make on stars. When I became a teenager, I liked blue. Everyone likes blue. There's a whole world to figure out. You think about finally growing up, who you are, what's important, where you're going, why you're going there, when the right time is, how it all fits together. and you think about having a good time along the way. Then I was a grown-up, young and strong. My favorite colors were simple black and white. It was easy to tell yes from no. There's a whole world to conquer, and you know exactly what you want. To make your own way, to be okay, to belong, to know things, to be you and make a mark on the world. Great men and great women, some famous, most not. Great ideas, the impossible made possible. Great hopes and joys, fears and sorrows, and all the living in between. But as the days became years that spun by, my simple black and white world turned gray, the color of a dismal day. You hear so many voices, no way, they say, you're dreaming. Or to yourself you say, things weren't supposed to be this way. You get tired or maybe confused or scared. Maybe there's just too much. One big, too long, too hard. All you want to do is hide your head under the covers of your bed. It was gray, gray, gray. I didn't like the gray. Then something happened. It'll always happen if you're looking. It might be a smile, a wink, a nod from someone you don't know. It might be a hug from someone who loves you. It might be a word or an idea carried on the wind from others. Or it might be a little note from deep inside you. Get up, and then you understand. The secret to dreaming a dream, that is. I was older and strong once again. My favorite color was green, the color of go and the color of grow. I understood that the world at its best is green. Dreams grow like the seeds. They need to take root. They stretch toward the sun. They grow slowly. They must be tended to. And sometimes a gray day gives them just the rain they need. There's something else, too. I understood that to grow a dream, you need more than the one I was. You need the believe of childhood, the do of youth, and the think of experience. You need all three. There's the wisdom to fill it too, simple and not so simple at once. Believe, do, think. So. Now I am very, very old. My favorite color? Yellow, the color of the billion stars that sparkle in the night sky. I've dreamed a lifetime of dreams. I reached many of them. Not all, but many. Many also changed along the way. What I have most are fine memories. When you're as old as I am, you still dream dreams. But they're different. Mostly they're wishes for those who follow. Look up, up, up into those billion sparkling stars. What dreams do you find? Little dreams, big dreams, each a hope looking for a life to make it real. A life like yours. Be a dreamer. With everything around you, with everything before and after you, with everything that is you. Dream a dream, your very own dream.
I love the smile at the end. So y'all ready to do some dreaming today? You know, most of what you find in the Bible is actually dreams. You realize that? Most of the great mystical literature has come in the form of sleeping dreams, but they're also dreams, waking dreams. We oftentimes call those visions, don't we? There's a vision that someone has had, and out of looking at and praying about and listening for that vision and holding to that vision, amazing things have come about. Amazing things. Jesus said in Matthew 7:20, if you have faith as a grain of mustard seed, you will say to this mountain, move from here to there, and it will move. And nothing will be impossible to you. That's a very powerful statement, isn't it? And I'm going to suggest to you that each and every one of us has the ability to allow the dreams that we have in our life to come into fruition, to grow, to come into our experiences. Last week we talked about this understanding that we're created in the image and after the likeness of the divine, which means that we are created in the image and after the likeness of the very process of creation that creates stars, and is creating stars even now. And actually, you and I, whether we know it or not, are in some ways participating in that, and we are some of those stars. We're made of the same stuff. We're brought into being, we're brought into life, and we are brought into life, and we are also a part of bringing into life our life, world, and experiences. I've been thinking a lot and praying a lot about dreams and what that really means to us, and I'm going to suggest to you that a part of what we're really about is to allow our dreams to unfold. And sometimes those dreams do come to us in our sleep, and sometimes they do come in waking ways. But I'm reminded of a story that I came across some time back about a guy who had a dream, and his dream was to fly. He always wanted to fly, and so one of the things he did was he joined the Air Force and wanted to become a pilot. But what he discovered once he got into the Air Force was that his vision was not good enough to qualify him for. In fact, his vision was so bad that they actually had to release him from the Air Force because he just didn't have his physical vision to be able to do what was needed to be done in the Air Force. And so, he was really disappointed and didn't know exactly what to do. But so one day Larry got an idea. That's how it works, isn't it? We get ideas. You see, ideas are what Charles Fillmore calls the coin of the realm. That we are blessed through ideas. That is through ideas that we're able to experience the possibilities. It is through and he calls those divine ideas. And there are divine ideas, and those divine ideas have a core understanding that are absolute truth. And as Courtney said this morning, they're true right now. They're absolutely true right now. And one of those divine ideas is the idea of abundance. One of those divine ideas is the idea of life. One of those divine ideas is the idea of wholeness. And we all have that, and it's true for us right now. And part of our work is to draw into our experience that which is true on a spiritual level. Isn't that what fulfilling a dream really is? Isn't that what we're really doing, learning how to do? So one day Larry gets this idea, and he went down to the local Army Navy supply store and bought a tank of helium and 45 weather balloons. This is a true story, by the way. These were not your brightly colored party balloons. These were heavy-duty spheres measuring more than 40 feet across when they were fully inflated. In his backyard, Larry used straps to attach the balloons to his lawn chair. Have you heard about this? Have you read this? The kind that you have in your own backyard, and he anchored the chair to the bumper of his Jeep and inflated the balloons with helium. And then he packed some sandwiches and drinks and loaded a BB gun. He figuring he would pop a few of those balloons when it was time to return to Earth. So his preparation was complete. Larry Walters sat in his chair, cut the anchoring cord. His plan was to lazily float up a ways and then lazily back down to terra firma. But things didn't quite work out that way. When Larry cut the cord, he didn't float lazily up. He shot up as if fired from a cannon to 11,000 feet. That makes my ears hurt, just thinking about it. 11,000 feet. And at the height, he could hardly risk deflating any of the balloons, lest he unbalance the load and really experience flying. And so he stayed up there, sailing around for 14 hours, totally at a loss of how to get down. And eventually Larry drifted into the approach corridor of Los Angeles International Airport. And a Pan Am pilot radioed the tower about passing a guy in a lawn chair. Oh my goodness, at 11,000 feet with a gun in his lap. Oh my goodness. Oh boy. Now, you may be aware that LAX is right on the ocean. And you may not know that at nightfall, the winds on the coast begin to change. And so, as dusk fell, Larry began drifting out to sea. And at that point, the Navy dispatched a helicopter to rescue him. But the rescue team had a hard time getting him because the draft from the helicopter kept blowing away from them. Oh my goodness. Now, eventually, they were able to hover over him and drop a rescue line, which gradually they used to haul him up, and were able to bring him back to Earth. And so, as soon as Larry hit the ground, he was arrested. But as he was being led away on handcuffs, a television reporter called out, "Mr. Walters, why did you do it?" And Larry stopped and eyed the man for a moment and replied nonchalantly, "A man can't just sit around." True story. Seriously though, what are we doing today to let our dreams come true? Dreaming is important, and it's important for us to honor the dreams that we have, but we also need to know that there are steps to take. When we hear a dream, when we feel a dream, when we feel like we're being moved in a particular direction, when we feel like we're being brought into something that could be possibly more than what we had experienced before. And it can be, and the reality is we're all being called through our dreams, through our desires, our wishes, our preferences, to experience more of the possibilities of who and what we are. And that may include, as we heard in our prosperity daily word today, that may include stuff, but it's not necessarily about stuff. It's about becoming, and it's about being more. And some of that being more may be about being able to manifest stuff, which is an important part of being in this world today as well, isn't it? And recognizing the reality is that we actually are manifesting stuff, whether we like it or not. Some of the stuff is the experience of not having stuff, and that's okay. You know, if you want to, that's part of the manifestation process also. But sometimes that doesn't serve us well. And sometimes our work is to be able to live in an experience in this world that is beyond our current way of thinking and seeing and being. And that creates something of what you might call a discontent. And one of the most valuable gifts that we have, that we've been given, is the gift of discontent. The gift of being okay with staying exactly where we are. Let me rephrase that. The gift of not being okay. Yes, thank you. Of not be, I like the puzzled looks. Those are helpful. Thank you. Yeah, that's good feedback. I like it. The gift of not being okay with just staying right where we are. Because the reality is, if we're willing to stay where we are, one of the things that came out in our movie last night, which is a wonderful, excellent movie called Imagine. If you get a chance to, if you didn't come and watch that, get a chance to rent that one, look that one up. It's really very powerful awareness about this very idea and principle of not being content to stay stuck in a box of our own blindness, our own ability to not be able to look beyond and to stay stuck in a particular way of thinking and believing. There's a wonderful story about a blind teacher who went to a blind school to teach them how they could get around in the world without using a cane, but using the power of their own other senses, their hearing, their sense of smell, just their inner sense of direction. And it was very powerful because this is a person who's able to make sounds and then be able to listen, just like a bat, and hear the reflections of the sounds off of different objects and be able to find his way around and locate. And it was very powerful understanding and awareness. And it was a way of, and of course there were those who were saying, well, you know, that's not possible. You know, every blind person has to do it this way. And he was trying to show them that's not the only way. And he was able to show them that there were other possibilities, and there were greater possibilities for them to be able to move beyond their limitations. In Genesis chapter 15, verse 1, after the Lord spoke to Abraham in a vision and said to him, "Do not be afraid, Abraham, for I will protect you, and your reward will be great." And this verse, Abraham was given a vision of a greater possibility, a vision of a nation that he would be able to found that was greater than anything that had been expressed before. And he got a real message to move forward with that, to move out of the land of Ur, to move out of the land of his family, of his ancestors, and moved into a new place. We're all being called in that way. We're called to move out of where we are, to experience and express even more of the possibilities of love, to experience and express even more of the possibilities of life, of health, of abundance, of prosperity, of peace, of compassion. Every life experience is calling us, isn't it? It's calling us in some way to allow something from within us to express more deeply, more richly, more fully, more beautifully perhaps, or sometimes even more strongly, more powerfully. Walt Disney's widow was being interviewed after the completion of Disney World in Florida, and the reporter remarked, "Isn't it a shame that your husband never got to see this?" And Mrs. Disney quickly corrected him and said, "He did see it. That's why it's here." That's the power of a dream. You and I have that same power within us. We were created in the image and after the likeness of that which is dreaming our life and our world into being, and continually doing so. It's an amazing, wonderful, loving, benevolent power. And we have the possibilities of expanding our awareness of it and our experience of it as we begin to look at and practice these possibilities. And so I'm going to give you some, what you might think is, some people have said it's kind of woo-woo, and that's all right, I don't care. Because the reality is, I've seen it work. It's worked in my life. It's worked in a lot of people's lives. How many of you ever done a treasure map? A few of you have. Okay, let me talk to you a little bit about a treasure map. I first was introduced to the idea of treasure mapping by Catherine Ponder. How many of you are familiar with Catherine Ponder? Catherine Ponder is one of the most amazing prosperity teachers, but prosperity in a very true and real sense of just really expanding our possibilities in life. And one of the things that she teaches is the importance and the power of our imaging capability, our ability to image what we want to see and want to experience in life, using the power of our imagination to look beyond what we're seeing out here, which has already been manifested, by the way. What you're seeing out here is like, in many ways, it's like something that it's already happened. Does that make sense? It is now. It already is. And what we can create from there is going on, not out here, but going on in here and in here. And so what we will experience next has nothing to do with what's going on out here. Because what's going on out here is a result of what we were thinking and feeling minutes, hours, weeks, even perhaps months or years ago. You realize that? But the thing that we can do, the power that we have, is the now moment. And the now moment is the ability to look into the possibilities of something in the future from now. So if we find ourselves getting caught up in the images of what's going on right now, we're really caught up in yesterday. Do you realize that? We're stuck in yesterday. And the way we move forward into something new and different, the way we move forward into tomorrow, is using the power of our imagination, our ability to vision and see the greater possibilities of good, and letting go of the illusion, the image that somehow what is going on right now is the real and is permanent. I assure you it's not. In fact, it just changed. And it's just changed again. It's changing in each and every moment that we're a part of. And it's changing because of what we are saying, what we're thinking, what we're feeling, and what we're imaging in our mind. This is the imaging law of prosperity that she talks about in this wonderful work called Dynamic Laws of Prosperity. And history proves that the power of imaging works. We've seen it throughout, all the way from early days of Scripture. The reality is, look around you right now. Was this not a manifestation of an image that we collectively held? Yes. Being in this space with these people, with this energy, with Sean here singing to us and getting us up dancing, and wasn't this isn't this what really is going on? So we have this imagining power within us to be able to look beyond what's going on in the present moment and look at what our greater possibilities are. There's a wonderful book that came out a while back from some friends of mine actually, Rima Benario, Jane Simmons, and Kelly Sola, Unity ministers and teachers. And it's an amazing, wonderful book called Who Have I Come Here to Be? And I'm going to suggest to you one of the key elements of this. It really is a wonderful, powerful image book to take you through your own awareness of the dream that you are here to manifest in life. And the dream is not just some airy-fairy thing. It really is something that you are called to express in a way that is perhaps beyond what you had thought possible, perhaps what you thought was your work to do. I want to talk a little bit about this idea of the image board again and kind of come back to it. It's an important, see, the powerful thing, and I learned this really from Jack Boland. How many of you are familiar with Jack Boland? Jack Boland was a very powerful Unity minister and just still has ripple effects in his teaching and ministry. And one of the things that Jack taught me was a treasure board, a treasure map is a valuable thing, and oftentimes a treasure map is geared toward, manifesting stuff, and there's nothing wrong with that. I firmly believe that that's an important part of our learning process, is learning how to manifest stuff. It's not the central important piece of it, but it's the learning how to manifest that's important. Does that make sense? The reality is what we want to do is learn how to manifest our greater self. We want to learn how to manifest more of who and what we can be, more and more of our own possibilities. And so Jack created and taught me about creating an image book. He called it an image book, but he also called it an I-amage book. And an I-amage book is really a treasure map is like you take and find pictures that really reflect what it is that you want to experience in your life, and you put together these pictures with different words that really bring about a real feeling of the possibilities of that, as though, so you can really help your imaging possibilities, so that you can visualize and see more clearly and get a real sense and a feeling of what's possible. And I want to tell you a little story about that from one of my sons. My son, I have an older son named Michael. And Michael is, he's actually now in his 40s. I forget exactly, about 43, I think now. And he's a powerful manifester. He sometimes forgets it, as we all do, but he is a powerful manifester. And I remember when he was about 9 or 10, maybe a little older, he came across in a magazine something he wanted for Christmas. he came across an image of a bicycle that was one of the most amazing futuristic looking BMX bicycles that I have ever seen. And it was just an image in a particular, it wasn't even an advertisement for this, it was just an image in a particular magazine and he got so excited, he said that's what he wanted for Christmas. And he took out and cut that picture up, and he put it in his room, and he went there every day and looked at that and saw himself riding that bicycle. And my former wife and I, at the time, were basically kind of going, oh man, that bicycle is just something somebody made up. It wasn't even an actual picture, it was just an image, you know. It was just, I think, a drawing or a painting. But he wanted that bicycle. And we didn't think it really even existed. And so we thought, well, I don't know, we don't want to disappoint the kid. We'd like to get him a bicycle. And also at the time, we hadn't manifested very much income at the time. And so we were kind of thinking about that as well. And we knew if we did find it, weren't sure what we could do about that. But, you know, we said, you know, this kid, you know, so, you know, we were just open to the possibilities. And happens that one day, Kathy was walking through a particular store, and would you believe it, there was that bicycle. And she asked about it, and it was a pretty hefty price, as you can imagine. And she said, well, why is this one so much more expensive than all the others? And he said, well, there are only 3 of them that were made. Well, needless to say, we worked out a little something with Michael with his allowance, but Michael got that bicycle. And there were only 3 of them made in the world. This is a powerful lesson, and it taught me a powerful lesson. It taught me a powerful lesson that when you can dream something and you can hold to it in such a way that you truly feel it to be true for you, you will draw to you this, or as we always like to say in Unity, you will draw to you this or something even better. Something even better. Now, I have to tell you, the something even better for me was having that experience of Michael being able to manifest that bicycle. A powerful lesson for me. Christopher Morley, the American author, said, act like you expect to get into the end zone. Act like you expect to get into the end zone. For those of you that don't know football, the end zone is where you're trying to get to when you... Act like you expect to be there. Feel it, know it. So when you think about this idea of divine discontent also, think about what is it that discontent is trying to pull you toward. And as you listen to that, you'll find that within that there's a dream. There's something that discontent is not trying to necessarily push you away from. Anything that you think you're trying to push away from is actually trying to pull you towards something. So focus your attention not on what you're trying to get away from. Focus your awareness and your attention on what it is that you want to see and experience in your life. So if you find yourself in a painful situation, you may think that your dream is to get away from the pain. But the reality is, what you really are being called toward is moving into a place of peace and comfort. Does that make sense? Of love, of acceptance. So look for the good that you are being called toward. And don't get caught up in trying to push away from something that you think is not going to be there for you. So I came across a wonderful, here's some tips for you. This is tips from Mary Mannon Morrissey, and Mary has been an amazing, wonderful spiritual teacher on this whole principle of how we manifest our dreams. A very powerful teacher. One of the things she says, ask these 5 questions. Great thing if you've got pen and paper to write these down, or go back and watch the video. You can watch the video, that's good too. Does your dream enliven you? Whatever dream that you are dreaming to experience, does that enliven you? Does it bring a greater sense of life into your awareness and into your feeling, into your energy, into your possibilities? I also like to say, is it life enhancing? Is your dream something that is life enhancing? Is it lifting not only you up, but lifting up is the energy lifting not only you up, the energy of the people around you? One of my teachers also was, one of my teachers, Jamal Rahman. Jamal is just a wonderful Sufi teacher, just an amazing heart. And one of the things he really asks you is this something that really splashes in your chest? I love that saying. Does it splash in your chest? Does this dream splash in your chest? Does it really open your heart? Does it allow you to experience more of your uplifting energy in life? The next thing is, does this dream align with your core values? If you think you have a dream and it really is not in alignment with who and what you really truly say you are and truly what you want to be and how you want to be in the world, it's probably not a dream for you. It probably is someone else's dream, wouldn't you think? And so you want to really pay attention. Is this really in alignment with what I truly value in my life? And then the next one is, and this is a really great one, do I need help from a higher source to make this dream come true? Do I need help from a higher source to make this dream come true? And I'm going to suggest to you, if that is not a true statement, if you can say, no, that's not true, it's not a big enough dream. You need to get a bigger dream. Because I can assure you that the universe has more and can dream more for you than you can possibly even dream for yourself, that you possibly can do for yourself. And so if you are asking that question, is it something that I need help with from a higher source, and the answer is a definite yes, then you're probably on the right track. And then the next thing is, will this dream require me to grow into more of my true self? Will it require me to grow more into what I am capable of, and what are my possibilities? Will it require me to stretch? Will it require me to move beyond my own limited way of seeing and thinking and feeling and believing? And if it does that, it's probably a good dream for you. And then the next one, the last one she lists, will this dream ultimately bless others? A dream is always going to be there to bless you, and that's important. But does it also bless others, bless those around you? Is it something that is a way for you to grow and to experience and express more of the possibilities and to be a blessing in some form, in some way? Will it allow you to be a blessing, not only in your life, but in the lives of those around you? One of my favorite quotes is from Henry David Thoreau. If one advances confidently in the direction of his dreams and endeavors to live the life which he has imagined, he will meet with success unexpected in common hours. And so, take some time this week to think about, do I have a clear image, vision of who and what and how I want to experience and be in the world? Make yourself a vision book, an image book. Let me give you just a little example here. I did this some years ago. Let me find my little... I took out some pages from one of my image books that I created years ago. I'm not going to show you all of them because some of them are still a work in progress, and I think it's valuable to hold tight those things that you haven't fully manifested yet and only share those with those that are ready to help you see it and experience it. But this is one that I feel pretty good about, I have to say. And it feels like there's a lot that's come true as a result of it. I can't tell you exactly when I created this, but it was many years ago. I see through the eyes of the mystic. I find the miracle life and let them unfold for me, the miracles of life. I express me and experience truth, love, and giving. I experience serenity, love, and enlightenment now. I've experienced that in so many ways in my life since creating that. Here's one I love. God and I do more than is humanly possible. We are one. Can you turn it this way? I'm sorry. Now these are kind of, as you can see, they're kind of yellowed. So I've been working with these a while. Let's see. This is one that I feel is very true with where I am right now today. I transform job into mission and passion, and life is filled with incredible opportunity. Yeah. I love that. Oh, sorry. I don't know if you can see that on the video, but do a zoom in. Yeah. Now this one is actually fun. There's an important element of this as well, and that's to have fun in life. I now travel to beautiful places of the world, finding fun and seeing the sights. So this is an experience not only that I wanted to experience, and let me tell you, as a result of working with this particular vision, I have traveled around this world. I've been to Russia. I was gifted a trip to Russia. I won a 10-day cruise in the Caribbean. I have just had all kinds. I've been to Dominican Republic. I've been to Canada. I've been to, let's see, where else have I been? I've been to India. Where else have I been? I've been able to travel the world, and I know that is because this is a part of that vision. And I know that I was able to bring that into my experience because I have held that vision. And I do feel like that's one of the things that's actually made me, it actually stretched me to be able to look beyond my own. See, I grew up in Toadsuck, Arkansas. There really is a place, yeah. I grew up in Toadsuck, Arkansas, and traveling the world was not something that a lot of people did in Toadsuck, Arkansas, I want you to know. You have great possibilities, and you're in the process of creating those possibilities in every moment. And so I encourage you to really take the steps as you move into really clarifying, what is my true dream? What is the dream that is calling me? And ask yourself those 5 questions and see if it's a dream that really is big enough for you. That's our fun and homework or play work. I like his term, play work, for this week and probably for most of our lives. So have fun with that this week, and let's move into our meditation time. Let's have a song. So as you move into that space within, allow your heart, your mind, your imaging power to be active, and see yourself centered in the very essence of your heart and being. See yourself now in that space of unlimited possibilities of creation. See yourself expanding as a spiritual light, and see that light manifesting and unfolding in rich, exciting ways. See yourself being drawn and pulled to a greater vision of your possibilities, beyond the limitations, the fears, the doubts, the shoulds, the oughts, the should nots, the cannots. See yourself rising above, moving beyond. And in your mind's eye, imagine there the castles of your palace of possibilities. Your possibilities are fantastic. And yet, they are beyond even the fantasies. They are a part of your creative process. And so see yourself as you would be, filled with the wisdom to make right decisions. See yourself filled with the love and compassion to look beyond the fears, the hurts. See yourself filled and experiencing the abundance of spirit. See yourself now fully vibrating with radiant health and well-being. This is the direction that your dreams are taking you. In your mind's eye, just see yourself stepping forward, advancing confidently in the direction of those dreams, of the greater possibilities of you and the greater possibilities of your life and world. And just feel and know that you are already in the end zone of those possibilities. Feel what that feels like. Give thanks that it already is so. Be willing to dare to be a dreamer and to live forward into your dreams. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Blessed Spirit, for the gift and the power of being a dreamer. Take a nice deep breath now. Breathe into the heart space. Take another nice deep breath. Listen for what the next step might be for you. And take one more nice deep breath. And gently say to yourself, I'll do it. And let your awareness come back into this room, this time, this place. Gently open your eyes. Be present here and now. And so it is. Amen.